What's going on, guys? What's cracking? Out here with my Supra, but working on cat stuff. That's under the bag there, that's an engine. So yeah, but working on this. So today what we're trying to do here is I'm trying to figure out the system and lines that I need to run for this transmission. I actually just got good news there. Big thank you out to Red Horse Fittings. They are willing to sponsor Cat's car, and we're going to be doing a pretty intensive line setup between fuel lines, between transmission lines, power steering. So I'll be going a whole kit, and then you guys can use those part numbers for yourself. So what I'm doing now is trying to figure out what fittings I need to use here and here. Now, I'm not sure if I should keep these fittings on here or fully remove these, so I'm trying to decide that right now. I've got to decide and figure out what I need to do here. So I don't know if I should keep this fitting and this one, because what I planned on doing is removing these fittings and putting one directly off of it, and then using a 90 off of here, putting a straight fitting directly to the block here, and then coming directly off the block and using a fitting that comes like a 90 or maybe 120 degrees, because a 90 would hit here. So maybe put a 120 degree swivel fitting out this way, because I plan on running it to the front to a cooler off on the passenger side. So that's my idea. So I'm gonna be trying to hit up a few other people like Baltic Supra. If you guys don't know who he is, go check him out down below. Great guy, been super helpful also. He is the ATF badass guy. He's the one that makes all the power through a stock Toyota transmission. No, I'm sorry, let me take that back. He makes it through a Toyota transmission, not a stock one, an ATF built Toyota transmission, but it's still insane. You're using this little itty bitty transmission is making and holding all that power. So that's what's kind of keeping me this route instead of going 6R80, because one, this fits easily. Two, these are stupid cheap. Literally people throw these things in the trash. So I'm like, you know what, let's give this a shot. So I'm gonna give it a shot here. And again, I'm gonna try to figure out what size fittings we need. Okay guys, so I went ahead and removed the fittings, but I'm finding out here, I removed that fitting and that fitting there. I assume that's what you would want to do. But looking up online now, it looks like it uses an M16 by 1.5. So I assumed on this side, that's where it used it. I was wrong. You actually have to keep these factory fittings. And then these ends here and here are M16 by 1.5, which you can get from Red Horse Fittings here. So I'm going to show what fittings you need to get. Again, I'm going to show a whole other video for that, but just letting you know, if you do need to make lines, you need M16 by 1.5 is the size you'll need for that. Again, the light here sucks because of the way it's coming in. So M16 by 1.5. This nice little kit too I got from Amazon. It comes on a string, and I always take it off just because it sucks and it's hard to use the string and it bounces around. So I just take it off the string, put it in this little basket, and then figure out which ones I need. It does come in handy when you need to do something like this. One thing I noticed though, the one here uses a crush washer. The other one didn't. This one obviously haven't been removed before, so I'm not sure why that one doesn't have a crush washer, but this one does. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this back in and then tighten it up, and then start ordering some fittings. And then I gotta figure out how I'm gonna put the cooler in her car. I plan on putting it, so here on the passenger side, I plan on putting it right here is what my idea was, because the lines run over here instead of running across the engine. So come up and over, run them under the body there, and have them come up here. I just don't know what cooler. I think Powerhouse Racing makes a setup now that goes behind the intercooler, but I think putting air here would be ideal. Plus, it's less stuff behind there. And you got this giant gaping hole here as it is, so I got plenty of room. Gotta cock me an ice cold Keystone, boys. It's been a minute. So this is how I afford race car parts, boys and girls. So I wanted to let you guys a little bit more information. I was very fortunate that I posted up on what's called the 2JZ and discussion board on Facebook. I like to always say that the Supra community is very kind, very helpful. I've been very fortunate that I've met many nice people over the years. And I don't know if it's just the Supra community in general, but everyone tries or seems to be very, very helpful, are very, very knowledgeable, or they try to do the best they can. So I did just find out that I don't have to worry about a temp sensor in this transmission now. So apparently this late model, which comes out of the JZ161, has an internal temp sensor. So on the late model or in the early model Super A340 transmission, there's an external temp sensor that comes out of here. Apparently, with this JZ161 transmission, which is the 30440 LS, it'll be a 3F310 transmission, okay? This has an internal temp sensor for the coolant, for the actual trans fluid. So I don't have to have an external sensor, which is really, really nice. The way you can tell is the pins here. See if you can pick this up on camera here. These gold pins here, those are your temp sensor pins. So this is a 12-pin connector. And this is how you also know you have a late model. The early models are 8-pin. So that's another easy way to tell. We also don't have the same style rear shaft speed sensor. It's a little bit different. So yeah, that makes me really happy. I think this is gonna work out well. This also has the J3 bell housing, which is the big bell housing. So if you need a big torque converter or anything like that, this will work out. So I like to pick up an extra one of these to try and take it apart. I was talking to Chris. I always butcher his last name, but I'll post it down below here. His Instagram or his Facebook, Chris Denuzio. And if I butcher your last name, brother, I apologize. We were talking a little bit there. He runs CNC Performance. He seems like a really nice guy, seems pretty knowledgeable. I'd like to do a video with him, kind of going over the transmission, what to look for, what you want. As I really want to like to try pushing these. They have the 6R80 out now, but this actually fits in the tunnel. These are reasonably priced. There came in so many cars that, you know what, let's give one of these a shot instead. So I think that's the route I'd like to go. I'm going to try pushing this as far as I can until it breaks. I know you guys don't want to see my ugly mug, but I think it's a little bit easier. I like to push it and see maybe until it breaks, or just get an extra one and go ahead and send it to ATF or send it to CNC. I haven't decided yet who builds these transmissions, who you trust, who you don't, who still does it. I'm not sure if Chris still does it, so I need to actually speak with him, see if he still builds these transmissions. And you know, automatic transmission work has always been like that finicky thing, you're right? Unlike manuals, which are pretty straightforward, it seems like automatics definitely have their nuances about them that you have to be careful with. So I'm gonna try, see if I can get one of these shops to look at it. And I'd also like to look into taking one apart just to see what's inside so you guys get an idea, because there's no videos out there. And I think that's why people are so skittish about them. So I'd like to get one, take it fully apart and record every step. It'd probably be a long video, probably about an hour long. But if you guys would like to see it, let me know down in the comments, and I'll absolutely do that. I'd like to get one just to show you guys what can be all involved. Like I was saying, I was looking for a cooler. Well, Sam Powerhouse Racing, Sam Humphreys, however you say his name, I'm sorry buddy if I'm butchering your name, reached out and said like, what are you doing for the cooler? And I said, oh, I'm gonna make something off to the side. Kind of was talking to you there earlier. He reached out and said, you know, with everything else going on with my family right now, my wife's been down at Johns Hopkins a lot. We'll discuss that in another video with you guys. He was kind enough that he sent this out. So it was very, very generous, very kind of them. I can't say enough about Powerhouse Racing. And this thing is not just a rebranded piece that they added brackets with. You can see it's literally a Powerhouse Racing cooler. So, I mean, this is made by them, or they have someone else making it and it's branded by them. So that's stamped in the metal. So obviously it costs a little bit more. This is designed specifically for this car, for the setup. It comes with all the brackets that are powder coated, even comes with the fittings that need to go inside here. Now, I didn't get the lines from them because like I spoke earlier, Red Horse Fittings supplying the rest of the lines for her car, so I'm not gonna have to worry about that. It also comes with all the bolts and nuts to make sure all the mounting brackets bolt up properly, so pretty neat. Obviously I gotta wait till her car gets back and get that done. And I'm also right now kind of doing some things here, getting rid of her radiator. So if anyone needs a radiator, how do you want to say it? Hit me up. This is one for obviously an automatic. So it is the thick core one, meaning it is thicker, does a better job cooling. The only difference is with those, they have these little bungs here in the bottom. And those bungs are for actual fluid from the trans to go through. Obviously, I'm not going to need those anymore. You can either just take those bungs out, leave them there or whatever, and run this on a turbo car if you wanted to, or any car really. This is just a thicker core. And since you're not using those, there's nothing's going to leak out of it because it was just for the trans. And if you don't have an automatic trans, there's really no need for it. And over here, this I am keeping, but I'm just cleaning it up right now. This is the condenser. To help keep the AC running. I just wanted to clean out, get every debris out, because when you have an NA, nothing's protecting it. So that's seen dirt and grime for 109,000 miles over the last 25 years. So I sprayed it with LA's Awesome twice here, scrubbed it down. It's hard to see, but you can see pretty well through it. Yes, it is. I could paint it, but I personally don't want to paint it. I want to keep as little paint and everything like that on it as possible, just for the fact that the less paint that is on this thing, the better. You know, it'll cool better. You know, realistically, even having the black coating it has on it, I wish it was almost like a raw aluminum. At the same time, that has its downsides too, because then you get rust. That's another thing I'm doing. I'm taking all the brackets off, all the bolts, and Colton Blunt, I'll just drop him down here. He's the one with that cool, he's the one with the red Supra, guys. He's the one that's been in my house a bunch. He's gonna help me try and get all the rust off the brackets and bolts and stuff here. They're smaller 8mm bolts that are really long, so either try to order new ones, which it looks like you can't, or try to find stainless steel versions of these. But if we can clean up the factory ones, that would be ideal, because you don't need anything special. I just want this cleaned up so it doesn't rust anymore. If we come over here, We've got more parts that I need to do. I need to get these brackets off also and get this bracket off too. And he's got this stuff he wants to try and hopefully it works, but it supposedly strips all the rust off and then we have to sand a little bit and then coat it. It doesn't need to be perfect. I just don't want it to rust anymore. That's it. It doesn't have to be shiny and smooth. Just want all the rust gone and then painted black and that's it. And the last thing I wanted to show you here, guys, is this. This is the whole reason we're trying to set this up and get this cool. So if you can see this here, I'll set this like this real quick. This is a Lexus steering wheel. Now, that being said, this same style steering wheel came on the Supra in Japan. So if I take this out here, if you can see here, guys, see the little down buttons on it here? You got down there. Everyone's like, why is there two downs? Because on the back side, it says up and up. So this actually came on the Celica GTS here in the US too, and I think a few other cars, but it would let you shift up and down. Obviously the IS300 had it. And I'm like, I saw it up for sale. Well, actually I shouldn't say that. Colton went and saw it up for sale. And he's like, dude, this guy wants like 150 bucks. Do you want to grab it? And I'm like, sure, let's try this. So I think this will work. I just need to find an airbag. So if anyone needs to buy a Lexus airbag, let me know. I've got it for sale. Only thing it has is this little bit of wear down there, but the rest is mint. Minty, minty, mint. I'm looking for the Toyota, the real Toyota one. Everyone keeps saying, you can just pop this center badge out, but I don't want to do that. I want the original OEM style one, like my car. I want that airbag where it has the lit symbol and everything built into it. That's a JDM steering wheel also with the perforated leather. This is how it came in Japan. I want that airbag is what I'm looking for, and it bolts right in. So that's what I want to do, and the idea is to get this to control that transmission. Which they did in Japan from 1998 to 2002 with the automatic Triptronic Supras. Not many people actually know that. The shifters are different in them too, where it comes down, puts it into what they call manual mode. Again, it is not a dual clutch. It's still a torque converter transmission. So yeah, it's not exactly perfect, but you can get the shifts pretty darn good. And depending on the ECU you use, we might have to use factory. I don't know. We're trying to figure it out. It's a very basic setup. I mean, if you can see, there's only two wires that come from each side, one for up, one for down. So it's like a momentary switch pretty much. Pressing down, momentarily, boom, puts it down. Pressing up, puts it up. And it just has it for both sides. So that's it. It's literally, if you can see here, this is the plug for it, which also does your cruise control, which I think that has 3 wires that come out of that alone. Then this one is your ground. So, I mean, this is all the wires total. I mean, there's not much in there. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah. 2 for each one of those, 3 coming out, and then 1 for ground. So very, very basic setup. I'm hoping to get this to work. Any info or feedback anyone can give me would be great. Jose Valle has been trying to help me get this to work. It's going to be interesting though. We are going to rewrap this wheel too. That's another thing Colt and I have talked about. He found this kit that allows you to wrap them. I had to find one specific that works with these buttons. I found it on eBay. It's only 30 bucks and it's supposed to be real leather. It looks to be pretty time intensive. And I'm pretty sure I do have to cut off this old leather first, so I'll let you guys know, try to do a little video on it, but obviously not record everything because it's going to take me forever. Again, I just wanted to do this quick little checkup, kind of showing where I'm going right now. This whole automatic trans thing is very new to me, so hopefully this gets done and done right. I'm hoping I can help you guys out too, because I know there's a lot of people out there who want to do it. There is the 6R80 now, there is that BMW trans I've seen, but again, I'm just not sure how I feel about them. This is cheaper. Let's be honest. I mean, 6R80 would be great, honestly, because one, I love Powerhouse Racing, those guys, because they're awesome. But this is just a lot cheaper right now. And the fact that I can get it, it already came with the engine, it bolts up easier. It just seems to make more sense on my end for right now. And I can see that it can hold a bunch of power. I don't like that it's only a 4-speed automatic. Technically, it's a 3-speed with overdrive, if you guys actually know that. So I do wish it had 2 more gears, real gears. But hey, I'll take what I can get, and hopefully this works out. Again, guys, thank you very much for tuning in today. Do me a big favor. If you guys like these kind of things, let me know down in the comments. I'm trying to just figure out what you guys want to see more of. I'm trying to do some racing, as you saw with Street Speed 717 and Dirty Max Jack. I'm trying to get out, do as much as I can before the twins get here, because my life is not going to exist anymore.